Chapter 11. Impacts of War on the Homefront. Getting along back home. American involvement in World War II brought the Great Depression to an end. Factories and workers were needed to produce goods to win the war. But even though the Great Depression was over, life remained difficult. World War II had affected every aspect of American life. Citizens were asked to make sacrifices in support of the war effort and the ideals for which Americans fought. They were asked to conserve materials to help factories make products needed for the war effort. They also had to accept rationing of scarce items like coffee, meat, butter, and even shoes. Americans showed their patriotism by carrying ration books and helping with scrap metal drives. It'll cost you. We have to make choices every day. Opportunity cost is the value of what is given up when a choice is made. People need to consider the value of what they give up, as well as the value of what they get, in order to make smart economic choices. Opportunity cost in action. Most Americans supported rationing in an effort to keep prices stable since the war effort had made these items somewhat scarce. By controlling the demand for meat, gas, and sugar, prices wouldn't skyrocket. But rationing had serious opportunity costs like, private businesses do better if they sell products without restrictions. If people with money could spend it freely, that would strengthen the economy. Standing in ration lines or searching through shops is an opportunity cost of time. Trade with other countries could have improved the American economy. Keep on digging. During World War II, the U.S. government urged civilians to eat less meat, wheat, butter, and sugar. These vital supplies could be easily packaged and shipped to feed the Allied armies in Europe. Americans on the home front were encouraged to plant gardens and grow their own food so they could be self-sufficient. That way, as many resources as possible could be used to make sure American troops had enough food on the front lines. The gardens Americans planted during World War II were referred to as Victory Gardens, and Americans were proud of their gardens. Historians estimate that more than 20 million gardens were planted during the war. Spreading information. In the early 20th century, it was not as easy as turning on a television to hear about what was going on around the world. Why? The television was not a common good in many American households. Many people received their news through reading newspapers, listening to the radio, or by talking to people in their community. One way that the government tried to get the same message or information out to millions of people was through the use of propaganda. Millions of posters with specific messages were printed and distributed across America. Some propaganda posters encouraged people to join the Red Cross or the military, while some posters attempted to explain what could happen if sensitive information got into the wrong hands. Women flex their muscles. The role of women changed during World War II. Since many men joined the military, there were lots of businesses in need of workers. As a result, thousands of American women joined the workforce during the war. They worked on farms, in factories, and in shipyards. Women also worked in office jobs. By the end of the war, 1/3 of the people working in U.S. business and industry were women. This was a big change in American life. Rosie the Riveter was a fictional character shown on government posters. This piece of propaganda encouraged women to help in the war effort. A riveter is a person who inserts and hammers rivets, which are metal devices used to fasten parts together. Rosie symbolized the many women working in factory jobs. Because of Rosie, women also joined the military in huge numbers. Some women became pilots and flew bombers from the United States to bases in Europe. Others became mechanics, truck drivers, and office workers.